Harry. That intro called Sketchbook by you and your band is sensational, as always, and I am welcoming everybody to the Hugs Not Drugs podcast. The Hugs Not Drugs podcast can help motivated people in recovery from addictions get additional skills for their personal health by enjoying inspirational stories that are educational and informative, and dare I say, entertaining. Yeah, that's what I'm all about, entertainment. There's no people like show people. All right, that's enough. This is John Barleycorn, and we also have Hugs Not Drugs. Hugs Not Drugs persona sounds like me, but is very softer and kinder. I'm more reality-based, and, Dr. Uggs is just off the hook with the psychopath instead of the spiritual path. So here we go. We're going to go to rules and roles in the family from the book by John Forlenza-Bailey called The Road to Wellness Workbook. We've done a few of these already. We've done the introduction chapter. We read that with the first chapter on detoxification, abstinence, and recovery through 12 steps. That information, then we did relapse prevention, and we're also doing the dark side of comfort, or chapter 3, which is rules and roles in the family. So here we go. Page 36. Let's clarify the term dysfunctional family as we accept the premise that no family is perfect. Nobody's perfect. There's no perfect family, and no one is going to get everything they want or need in any family. We are all imperfect. These are just simple factual statements. The truth will set you free, but first it'll make you angry. Chemical dependency is a disease of denial. Denial. Don't even know I'm lying. Chemically dependent households, which are families with one or more or one or both parents chemically dependent, have a duty to their active addiction to disguise the truth. We only get to the truth by being honest. The further one enters into the cave of honesty, one is closer to the truth than any person, place, or situation. How do the rules and roles of family get healthy from the disease of addiction? Well, it starts with one. If one person makes a significant change in the chemically dependent family, the whole system is affected by that change, and everyone needs to adjust. Your commitment to good mental health of behavior, thoughts, and feelings frees you to be responsible and to be in recovery. The addicted is no longer enabled because one person has learned to be able to detach from addiction with love. They have learned the valuable lesson: we make mistakes, we are not mistakes. This is John Barleycorn speaking, but I'm going to give it over with my same voice to Hugs Not Drugs right now because he's raising his hand feverishly and wants to say something. Go for it, Hugs Not Drugs. Yeah, Hugs Not Drugs here. Same voice as John Barleycorn, strangely enough. And I just want to mention that in the Transformation of Dr. Uggs, our first episode, we go into the rules and roles of family big time. And, there is the dark side of comfort, and that goes with pain. Emotional pain is the touchstone of spiritual growth. We have to grow through our pain. And the only way to do that is to be vulnerable, to share on a truthful, honest, open, willing basis, which is very painful when we initiate it. But as we practice it, we get better and better at it. Never perfect. Progress makes, we claim spiritual progress rather than spiritual perfection, to quote something very important in the book Alcoholics Anonymous, which explains how it works. Okay, so I just wanted to throw that out there. Go ahead, John Barleycorn. Go for it. The addicted family, okay, thank you, Hugs Not Drugs, for clarifying that. The addicted family system will try to reinforce 5 cardinal rules of dysfunction. Hold it, let me take over here. If we're going to talk about dysfunction, I really put the fun in it. So let me share. Go for it, Dr. Uggs. All right, I'm ready. The addicted family system will try to enforce 5 cardinal rules of dysfunction to get the recovering person to relapse back to toxic behaviors and thinking. Those 5 cardinal rules of dysfunction are: 1, do not trust others outside the family. Number 2, do not talk about the toxicity of the family to others. Number 3, do not feel true feelings. Number 4, do not think, just react. Finally, the last cardinal rule in a dysfunctional family is do not ask questions. All right, I'll take over from here. John Barleycorn again. You are in recovery now. You are the healthy one. You may be the only healthy one in a family system, or one of the ones in a family system that is healthy. Learning how to deal effectively with problems in more responsible ways. The recovering family member is willing to be able to, 1, identify the problem or challenge. 2, admit that it does indeed exist. Number 3, accept the responsibility of the problem or challenge by asking the question, what part do I play in this situation? 4, persist in resolving the problem with ongoing reappraisal of where you are in the process. Exercising these 4 responsible behaviors diffuses the 5 cardinal rules of dysfunction. Let's go for it again. I'm taking over. Roles in dysfunctional families of origin are assigned and acquired and can be permanent. 4 classic roles in unhealthy families are the hero, the scapegoat, the mascot, the lost one. All 4 of those. Being locked into roles solves family stressors is in of itself a problem. Being locked into roles solves family stressors in and of itself is a problem. Take it over, Hugs Not Drugs. Go ahead, Huggy. Yeah, let me just clarify something in going back to the first episode in the Hugs Not Drugs podcast. Think back at these roles. They were completely explained in Faith, Hope, and Charity. When the hero was the firstborn, that was Faith. And Faith was basically in a dysfunctional family, and she was the hero. And, she got good grades. She became a nurse. She was a goody two-shoes. The scapegoat was the second person in Hope. Hope really had a hard way to go, and in that she was acting out. She couldn't live up to being a hero because that role was taken. So she got a lot of negative attention. The mascot was Harry Uggs. Me, Hugs Not Drugs. When I was growing up, I wanted to make everybody happy. Looked at the family, unconsciously, of course, and looked at the family and said, we need some laughs. So that was my role, the mascot, the cheerful one. And the lost one was Charity in that family system. Charity, basically was alone a lot and kind of bullied by the mascot, me, Harry Uggs, and she really was lost initially. Being locked into roles solves life stressors, and in and of itself is a problem. So that's the problem of all families. We're not perfect. We have to grow out of our situation. If we grow as we go through our lives developmentally, we can be healthy. We have to take that spiritual path to do that. And a lot of times people get stuck in their pathology. So grow or go is a theme here. We all need to do that. And there's no end to enlightenment for everybody. Go for it, Dr. Uggs. In a dysfunctional family, the very awareness of the existence of a problem is often sabotaged. The sabotage can be open or hidden, conscious or unconscious, but the denial plays a significant part in the ongoing deterioration of the values in the family. Self-knowledge or loss of self in the family system is each family member's responsibility if one is to achieve a balanced mental health. We're not just talking about monetary losses or the loss of time available to family members. We're not just talking about abandonment issues or unresolved emotional issues. We're talking in holistic terms. The physical, emotional, social, sexual, and spiritual loss in each family member is due to the consequences of abuse and trauma by the addict in the family. The addict does not have to be in recovery for a family member to attain good mental health, and vice versa. However, the power of one can make the family in recovery a reality. Explain yourself. Hugs, not drugs. Yeah, I just want to mention that the power of one was me in the family system. Unbeknownst to me, Mama Uggs was taking care of herself too. She had been going to Al-Anon over 2 years before I discovered 12-step groups and wanted to hit a bottom and wanted to change my life for the better. And the reason I saw that, but we didn't talk about things in our family system. So I was going to a 12-step meeting one day, and I saw my mother at the same church. And I said, what are you doing here? She says, I'm going to the Al-Anon meeting downstairs. And I said, how long have you been going to Al-Anon? She said, about 2 years. And I had been in recovery for about a year at that time. So we were still not talking, not trusting, not thinking. We were still reacting. So it's a slow process for a lot of us. Families heal, but it takes time. So I'll just keep on reading. Simply put, the greater the loss in the family of origin, the greater the loss of self for an individual. That person needs to an enlightened perspective to begin the rediscovery of self. The roles of hero, scapegoat, mascot, and lost one do not necessarily have all negative consequences. Sometimes certain situations demand being the star or being the hero, taking the heat by being the scapegoat, lightening up the situation by providing humor in the role of a mascot, or just being quiet and enjoying the solitude of life affords us such as the lost one's role. However, if we always act our role, always play the part assigned to you by the chemically dependent or the toxic family, and we try to solve every problem or dilemma with one condition response, there can be negative consequences. So each one of the people in the system had to figure out there's only a time and a place to be a hero. There's only a time and a place to take the heat. There's only a time and a place to be laughing all the time. If you laugh all the time, they put you in the Laughing Academy, for goodness sake. So did you just make a joke? Oh my gosh. There's hope for me yet. I'll get you yet, Huggy. It was probably the wrong thing to say, I guess. My apologies if that hurt anybody. There he goes again, Mr. Goody Two Shoes. And there is a time for the lost child or the to have solitude. But if we don't engage with other people when it's appropriate, we're going to stay in solitude and lost, and that's not healthy. So each one of those things has a, that is the dark side, but there is comfort in being spiritual, and that's what on page 38. It's in italics, which means it's very important. Here's the paragraph. A healthy family has healthy rules like 1. Trust people who are trustworthy. 2. Talk to people you trust. 3. Identify feelings and process them appropriately. 4. Think positively. And 5. Ask questions to clarify your recovery effort. A healthy family diversifies the roles of hero, scapegoat, mascot, and lost one to ensure a balanced personality. Balance is health. Better judgment occurs in functional family systems because better conditioned behaviors have been learned. The truth sets us free from the enslavement of addiction. Complete the written assignments for this chapter in the workbook and go through the changes of the truth and awareness. And page 39, we start with the family roles exercises. What roles did you play in your family? Number 2, what feelings were you masking? Let me just talk about feelings for a minute. A lot of people have a problem with it, especially men. Women seem to have a PhD in feelings by the time they're 14 because of their genetic makeup. Men, it takes a longer time to identify feelings. We're like cavemen. Fire good, fire bad. You making jokes today? You got jokes? Huggy. All right, I'm just trying to explain what feelings we're masking, and I'm giving a little tutorial on what feelings are. Feelings are not facts, but they are our barometer of who we are at this particular moment. For instance, I get nervous a lot when I'm presenting, and so it's good for me to understand that. And if I start shaking, I make a joke about it to kind of go through the comfort. But the dark side is I have nervousness or anxiety. It's fear. So that's the main thing. I feel fear when I present. So what am I going to do about that? The right action is to have faith that I can do this. And so I have a faith that works through prayer and meditation. So I said some prayers and meditation before we presented this, and I'm using you, Dr. Uggs, to get me on track because you're my unconscious self, not my conscious self. Okay, what feelings am I masking? Usually it's fear. I feel fear because of my family of origin history that I need to really address and not run from. Fear, F-E-A-R. Face everything and recover. Or Fear, F-E-A-R, forget everything and run. The F is interchangeable for the amount of stress that you have. Oh, another joke, and it's got some double entendre to it. Number 3 in page 39 is, what behaviors did you hide behind to avoid talking about family secrets? Well, I can tell you that my behaviors that I hid around was my comedy, my ability to laugh at everything. And like I said, if you laugh at everything, you're a candidate to be put in the Laughing Academy. So in Active Addiction with Dr. Uggs running the show, how many psychiatric hospitals did you go to? Well, I don't like to brag about it, but, it was at least 10, and a few of them were criminally insane places, so I was locked up with charges for a while. I mean, 1.5 years of my life has been locked up somewhere. Thanks for sharing that. That's important to let that information out. You see, in order to recover, we need to be vulnerable. And vulnerability is not weakness. In recovery, vulnerability it's paradoxical. Out on the street, if this wasn't a podcast with education and inspiration and entertainment, out on the street, if somebody said that, they would be looked down upon probably. But here, it's a source of strength. If you want to be better, be vulnerable. Let people know who you are. When you let people know who you are, you discover who you are. And that insight allows you to be your authentic self. And authenticity is where it's at in recovery. What roles did other members play in your family? Well, I mentioned that before. In the dysfunctional family, Charity, Faith was the firstborn, and she was the hero. Hope was the secondborn, and she was the scapegoat. Harry Uggs, who evolved into the nickname Hugs Not Drugs, was the comedian or the mascot or the cheerful one. And the fourth one, the lost child, was Charity. And we all have evolved. That my family of origin are wonderful people, and they have evolved and grown as people throughout the years. Everybody's still alive too, which is magnificent. Page 40 on this chapter, called Chapter 3 in the Road to Wellness Workbook, is entitled Rules and Roles in the Family, and it certainly is explained as the dark side of comfort. We need to address this. The only way to deal with things is to deal with them if we're going to have a balanced life. So the journal is very simple. It's the same as the other chapters, the other 2 chapters. What am I thinking? What am I feeling? What am I doing? And that goes on for 7 days. It needs to be processed with the mentor that you choose when you do this workbook, and that's basically the end of chapter 3, Rules and Roles in the Family. So I'll return it to John Barleycorn. This was Hugs Not Drugs. Hey, Hugs Not Drugs, John Barleycorn here. Thank you so much for presenting this and keeping Dr. Uggs at bay. And it's good to see you have your sense of humor there. That's nice that you made a few jokes. They were corny, man. And here's the deal with the rules and roles. This stuff can return. Okay, I can rear my ugly head and try to get negativity back into Huggy's life, and I enjoy doing that. but I know I'm the unconscious self. I'm not the conscious self. And Hugs Not Drugs is the conscious self, and you, Barleycorn, are the conscious self also. So naming, claiming, and processing things, being aware, admitting what your awarenesses are to other people that are mentors and a community of caring really helps people to be well. But family of origin stuff needs to be addressed. The only way to address it is to address it. You do it with a therapist, you do it with a friend, but you do it. And I think that's going to wrap it up for today. My goodness, it's only been 25 minutes here, 26. So I'm looking at the time, and I'm going to let people digest this. This is a podcast that you can listen to ad nauseum. There's always something more to get out of the Road to Wellness workbook. I mean, it has some legs. That John Forlenza-Bailey, what can I say? The guy's a prince. All right, so we're going to do the outro now with Harry Uggs. Oh, wait a minute. Before we do that, let me do a little commercial so we can get paid for this bad boy. Let's talk about our sponsor, the Road to Wellness workbook by John Forlenza-Bailey. This workbook is designed to provide education, emotional support, and inspiration to persons suffering from addiction. It offers step-by-step lessons to people striving to turn their lives around regarding abstinence, relapse prevention, family dynamics, and self-assessment to continue to discover day-to-day self-awarenesses. Recovery is up to you. Mentors help. Journals help. You must exchange and surrender destructive behaviors for constructive ways of handling the day-to-day stressors or triggers of life. No one deserves to suffer from an active addiction. Get better, do the work. Hugs Not Drugs made me say that. Barleycorn here. Appreciate you. Everybody have a good day. Brothers and sisters, have a great day. And enjoy the moment. Stay in the moment, guys. And here comes Harry with the end of Sketchbook. Appreciate you.